Glory be to Jesus Christ.
Glory be to God.
I think I have to preface my sermon with a little history lesson because it turns out so many people I talk to don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. So I'm going to assume I'm going to appeal to the lowest common denominator in its beginning, and if you know what I'm talking about, just go to sleep or something until I finish. 30 years ago, the Ukrainian people were established as once again a sovereign nation. At the time, there was an Orthodox Church in Ukraine that was autonomous but connected to Moscow. It was the most independent and self-governing church of all the dioceses under Moscow. It was actually the second most powerful after Moscow. Between 1990 and 2014, there were some leaders in Ukraine. One was Uniat, a Greek Catholic, and the problem was within the Ukrainian church, he had a very powerful personality who was a bishop for many years under the Soviets. And when Ukraine got their independence, he just automatically assumed he would become the Metropolitan of Kiev, hoping to become someday the Patriarch of Kiev. Well, it didn't happen, so he split up. Actually, he was asked not to serve anymore by the Russian church because it turns out the woman he claimed was his sister had borne him 3 daughters. Okay? So, there was a split off church there. And there were a couple other bishops that were defrocked by the church who had their own church there. What happened was over the course of time between then and now, especially after 2014, the Ecumenical Patriarch decided he was going to get involved in this thing, and he started showing his recognition not toward the established Ukrainian church, but rather toward the schismatic churches. The reason why mostly being is because the Ukrainian church was still tied somehow with Moscow. And as the anti-Russian feeling was going increasing with the onset which led eventually to that blasted war, but the point being is you had 2 Orthodox churches. The majority were still with the Ukrainian church as it always existed. And that was under Metropolitan Onufrius. But Constantinople didn't want to recognize them because of politics within the church. It's very, very complex. If I told you the whole story, we wouldn't be having coffee, we would be having supper. Okay? So, I'm not going to burden you. The point being is, what has happened is the Western powers that are backing the Ukrainian military and government in this war think the only Orthodox church that exists is one they see diplomatically, which is through the office of the Ecumenical Patriarch. Okay? And the Ecumenical Patriarch, God bless him, sometimes thinks he's kind of an Eastern Pope, but he represents all of us Orthodox. And we've always maintained the difference between Orthodoxy and Catholicism is that you have your brotherhood of bishops instead of a father with several sons under him. And so Bartholomew is starting to see himself sort of as an Eastern Pope. And so when the State Department wants to know what's going on in the Orthodox Church and they confer here, they're going to get his version, okay? So they don't know what's going on. Nevertheless, on the 14th of August this year, which is a significant date because on the Julian calendar, to which the Ukrainian Orthodox Church observes 13 days earlier, it's August 1st, it's a feast of the cross. On August 14th of this year, the Rada, with the support of the president, who's not even Christian, outlawed the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. The canonical Ukrainian Orthodox Church is illegal. And I've spoken with a couple of my faithful here in private conversations about it and our worry and things like that. But the things, here's my sermon now. I think our history lesson's over. So wake God. Okay? I was amazed. People are being interviewed. They interviewed one young man, and his response is, "What do you think of this?" As he's coming out of what may no longer be his church. He says, "I'm praising God that I'm able to live in a time when the church is facing tribulation." Whoa, that's kind of like in the spirit of the martyrs. And then, the main part of my lesson I want to convey to you are the words of Metropolitan Onufry himself regarding this, okay? He's no Donald Trump, believe me. He's no Donald Trump. I would like to address all our believers of our Church of Christ. Don't be afraid of anything. Stand firm in your love for God. Keep the purity of the Holy Orthodox faith. It is the way that leads man to God. Love each other. Be patient with each other. Help each other. Evil will pass, and good will live forever. If we will endure everything, live in love to all and among ourselves, then no evil will conquer us. God is a God of power, and evil has no power. We will live with God, and we will be joyful, happy, and blessed. I know that our Church of Christ will last till the end of the world, because the Lord has said that the gates of hell shall not prevail against her. Do not be afraid, because we are the church founded by Christ, not